malun tuta mudlo total mera arogul adel tira orense o meser el programa que al tutau ya el Berius el aisa la mom de bombek el sel chistera pedel week malwai se mudlo que mal saul dir mal mera sule la tial radio gal el hosta el program magora rifa el walo giungi o aisel mera bulu la sengara gel gora urur magara lot mokra tial gora rif center gida rabulur belau malwai se tial program gida al tutau amom sadra tra urur gora katengel gora rif center amom mokrin to ase fish tagging project ya obang gida al tutau tara researcher gora rif center el Christina ngaya tara involved tay lurur mangesti del tutau mo o meskida gora wal goma galom so del tial project mo mos edel gora awil klad la se wara tetel terurur selong mokrin madalo ay mal sagal introduce ra gestir del Christina mobol lo mu ul gora ay sigid la setiang gora ngara tetel lurur. So Christina was just doing the greetings and welcomes. And I inform the listeners, the viewers, that this project is first time Coral Reef Center is doing it, and it's about fish tagging project. And so at this time, I would like for you to give us more detail on how is this project going, and the purpose and all that.
Sure. Good morning. So this is a pilot project, like Asap said, and we're looking at fish spawning aggregations, which are when fish, a large number of fish of the same species gather in one place to reproduce or spawn. And we want to learn more about the spawning aggregations of Kedesao, so the two-spot red snapper, and Melangmut, the long-nose emperor, at Mutiar, or Shark City dive site. And we're looking at things like the timing of the aggregation, when do the fish show up and when do they leave, when do they spawn, and then also the movement of the fish along the reef and where they spend their time. And then we're also looking at sharks, because when the fish gather in large numbers, it also attracts lots of sharks. So we want to look at where they come from, how long they spend there, and that kind of thing. And then we're going to be, this project is going to be done using acoustic tagging.
Let me just kind of translate that for our older viewers. Ma Christina mulko wasi kal project to ase pilot project ngwal ko katengil longot mo kanya ko Reef Center. Amalas mo lo mesagil lom rol rang lagil basyon labor nga ngil omel le ay gem klo to trail basyon le selom el langil lem mo ko ra akal dibl ra imol basyon start lom el mong soril los pegagi del site el gora ay del basyon girel telo msugo ya osisil timing direk soril gora motmol aklaw ngera artil girela say ay gal el basyon bol keldi bernyangi gile omel ngwara tetele la selbelos pe ay gal ngil morngi omel Michael Maori ngil basyo melogo ya Christina lo asing jakal salse edlo mesa mal betol ngileng makasa ka kalakadal madongu matamal di mo mesra tamo malas mloro ra gagi lo el nya ngil basyo el pal di mesra katasaw mamalang mut ya basyo lo mesni al alta magani sel do laseng mutyaw mesel siak siri blol sel suma ngi la mo kuldible el endirek el moklo adeng el mesegi del maori ra tegi del lom el ngi leng moklo ido israngi gele sel bolom el leng sebe laseng ngorawal masara arol leng mutel la adeng el guko mungur aul mom blol attract agegi del fish spawning aggregation ablol attract adeng mela direk lo mesagi del tor adeng ra agegi del el basyo o meselo asei ay gal adeng el mertial basyo lom el ria gal ngil ay gang ngargel mei ma sel tagging ang direk mo you also tag sharks tatak kay gel ngigil le sel tag as el subdido lo así ngal ngigil ngaral basyo emeral metiang el me omel mal de sisil mor ngegi de melang mudo matiaw letak ringi el wasay sel segum kadamara mutiaw ma asyak siri radia kal temel arol e kadame sa ko amot tela yol el kadasaw marwa amalang mut hindi sel temel arol le debong en se de la se kadamu durang radar dart mela mokte ka tagi del kora tagi wasay ay gay gidil ngigil mem el tagi del el basyon mutiaw malubeng sella ka arol tangarger maun tatakani asay may gang arger sel but temel arol le to tamaral me ngwad ko mo tarato ko ngwal ko soril musubu sel asay ta kerger malu betangarger esel bol temela arol le temral mekkel di betay del basyo etial uro sel bol uruni etmo spe seguid del tak to ase acoustic tak untara bedengel aba esel tengana la chira tak ndia kalwa igel dudula sen conventional tak elangara mong ya arwa iris yam le tak sel tama to ase conventional tak ngwa tak lola ng angigil mong amol trabu de langigil watarak lagi lu speringi ra seragi mo ko tele aurora abil ra in the 90s and the al time ya ngari sigil das ang acoustic tak saya bolo speringi mong aurula a Christina mos modil wasay malwang ra tiak lalo e wang ra uspel So sorry. So who's involved in this project? Are there any outside collaborators or even at Pick Creek who's involved helping you guys conducting this project?
Yeah, so this is a collaboration with Stanford University in the US and a PhD student named Natalie Arnoldi. We're working with her, and then from Pickrick it's myself, Lo, and MQ, and then we've also been working with local fishermen to help us catch the fish.
Okay. Ngayda Christina mergola setial lurora aklo luror ngaria dai ngakal ngarai krel belang ole dula sing Stanford University ngaria PhD student Clela Natalie ngayidre langa angartial lor ngosera ora rifle ngartial mru tagi del tagging project ya lo lo mentra ora rifle o si sil time malara kal tok tangani tagi dawal ora amru ni lo mo malara se tok tangani es el guk tebera ora rifle center ya direl ora wal involve tel lo rangaria allo atara tok tangal researcher ngel ora rifle osperil tok tangal wal kuklosu tel penemes tel kila almul Dr. Low Klassen. Ngaygid ma MQ last time ngle gestri tial ngela mesngay MQ mesngay mangayid Christina tirgaya help ngayid na talil el mga tmok tayid luror. Ya o sil time direk kloruror mo trigal researcher agora center oro lo mentira adro med direk agora mala information. And so you mentioned the acoustic tagging. You want to elaborate on that a little bit so we'll know what is acoustic tagging?
Yeah, so I think you mentioned the conventional tagging that you did in the past.
Right.
So acoustic tagging is different because it basically you put a tag on the fish or the shark, and then you put acoustic receivers on the reef. And then when the fish swims past, it emits a signal, and then the receiver picks up that the fish was there. And each tag has a unique ID number. And then so we can tell which fish or shark swam past that part of the reef.
Yeah. Right. Ang kagita Christina lo ay sa sel acoustic tagging ang takal dungul alwada laliarangi gil e ogore tiro la igil da se receiver ra ungela tel ungela ba karget tel lo ri basyo e ogore yo sei sel tal lora langi gil megalakla e seguid receiver ako sabak e sel ka sabak ng la oy whistle ID number ng gil mambulgula say abek kelngigla ngari tagidel acoustic tak other tal legal acoustic tak ngarial do sing ID number malsuma amalang mo daw lubangaral ID number mengalak ya receiver a oiwi ya sumguk ko sa lubangaral number mengalak ya receiver a oiwi ya sumguk plede ng lubangaral number mengalak ya receiver a oiwi maseluri ulang ngai gal receiver malmel dalno da data ya kadmo mdenget pasay arwa adenga ulamay sergere maral me budulger may kay gidil malang mud makasal sa lo mesa adirel mo se edel madnge omrollil seguida tetelel sel acoustic tag.
And it's different to the satellite tag, which the satellite tag you can see exactly where the fish is going.
I see.
But this is just like you can only tell when it's past that one receiver.
I see. Okay, gagita Kristinal malmom katak sel to la say elang buto ka kakrus sa bideng latak besel technology imang aldura sen satellite tag. Ela ku kwarwalo ma adira kalwa ya PCS ra ya lap ra some years back. Ang special gukta sing satellite tag. Sel satellite tag kare lang al ngulo liara abadang la arm. Ya satellite tamu yuri. Tulus pering rawele, mesel talbelo wasawel. Enya ko satellite to receive ni marwa ya labra agara PCS mni rasay ngal wel ble tak kani ra dulo alba berbelaw am lamral mo budul arba Indonesia o ingal buil ng lara kargira arba Indonesia. Ela saya satellite tag. Mo sisil satellite tag ang anya lulus pe aradra wala la aurora tial el PNMS el guk Alex el researcher amlay magi ng seringi wara tak kay gale kachuo se mo sisil bla karad dingu ko da tetelel el direct sel lora la ngigil engal satellite tas el track ngal ngigil min sued lo do mes lo sengal ngigil miral morgil a Cristina mal mo tak set to lo asay tiango leng yak mo mes sel de tak ngal ngigil yak do ngila sengal yak do mes ngi lo seng satellite tas sengal miral mor bay kadadi mo mdengla omrolel logi segi del receiver el blal del mir al sabar tak mangal ngigil sel talle ta ngalak receiver ma receiver el iwi eseluru le da dallo da gel information malu ben data egida mo mdengla sengal ngigil miral mor gel.
And the reason why we're using the acoustic tag instead of the satellite tag is the main reason is the price. The satellite tags are really expensive. Like a lot more expensive, yeah. So we're limited by.
Amal di sola Cristina lo mo tekila say ya un mo dos pay el acoustic telgib ko ra wal sebe del maar. Ay gel satellite taka mal taka aral mo muring gida amar. Okay, so wow, that's acoustic tagging, by the way, haladik tu tele del morse, tial acoustic tagging, adia al bes el tol, ngatengel agora rifle mru tial los pe acoustic tagging, dingel Dr. Kanin, ngara si ara fadir los pera o si medo del kuk tra arwa gel ku kureri, gel also al tra gal tora arwa mam makam dukle. Anyway, mendia al bes el tol los peri, kwadi so al teknisi. So what is your method? Malum ngora tetele what is your method and what exactly have you been doing so far since the project began?
So Natalie just left on Sunday and she was here for 3 weeks. So the first week we deployed the receivers. So we had 20 receivers, which we deployed all the way from Sia's Corner down to Blue Corner. With a focus at Shark City. So we've got 6 receivers at Shark City because it's quite a big area. So we wanted to cover the whole of that area. And then we went fishing for Kedasao, Melangmud, and sharks. And we tagged the fish and the sharks that we caught. And so how we did this is when we caught a fish, we would bring it onto the boat, put a pump with water flowing through the gills, and then made a small surgery in the body cavity and put the tag in and then sewed it up and then measured it and then threw it back in the sea. With the sharks, it's done in the water. So the shark stays in the water and then it's an external tag. So it's not a surgery, it's like it goes inside the shark, but the tag stays outside of the body. That's our method. Yeah.
Okay. Malgo Cristina sa tetelel teluror tamo sem tamagare la galngil. Esel gare lilmei etong si alsumum lang mud malum kadasaw. Etong si iraet engani abom bolomom brada. Lungulo mangaria korahos etungulo tungin angarel mengantinu tialda bolwal tulangarel mutop-top rasamdel. Etira hagar the measure ka aklam hotel e gore morsel. Let me just clarify the exact area where you just mentioned body cavity. Is it the lower near the where in the body?
No, it's near the
belly.
yeah.
Okay. Melat se lo ay seguid lo marala hos kumare mangkaling gladi almat et hakara haklungel. E gore tiram ke oktril metkia ke kre klalo leng. Let me clarify something again. How big is the tack?
The tags for the fish are 13 millimeters wide. So that's how big the incision should be. But the long, they're a bit longer than that.
Wasa sel tack akmedel ngara 1 centimeter. 1 centimeter habari. Saya klungel sel klalo ngul lemetkia tel bitara dalel. E ogore ngul sugur e rosmin gal ngigil. Of course, after the incision, you have to stitch the fish, right?
Yeah.
Selbol meregal sugur ngal tak e gore tira rosmi e mga koktil release rangil. Mela sel release ringi engay saygi el acoustic tak se malungil sil. Ngani apat tira al sel malungil sil meng dia ka kora se beklen wala sei. Dia ka lel kora mo o masak le temeling gal ngil. Dia ka se beklen gidil sei. Anyway, mela tong dormir al sel ngul merey engay gidil ngil sel tal loral ngalak kay gidil dullo ko la seng receiver engay aku read the cell ID number awun sel urule eda nga receiver me da dalo da dictado mo dina sei ngaral ka sound mle ngarak lungel sa dagel elia mirat tiama se agora teta da ital tete sel urule ending melgo la sei aku kadang selemen dia gimola sei ina et ndi ngara avao yagi i dolme ara attack el telgib el mod the tack for the shark, it's still acoustic.
Yeah.
But there's a bit of it that sticks out from the body. Hindi na acoustic tack. Hindi to dolmi, hindi nga riya ko ra kikre lultomer ang kikit lading. Hindi nga rada bet tamatki dolmi sel tack erosmi e ko rel mutul mere mongrael.
And the reason is because it would be dangerous to bring the shark onto the boat, and they're also more likely to get injured themselves.
I see. Ay malko lasing unmang dingarata ba ditakra ding sildalele et mi de bulute direkal sibel goramol tilakare mi de bulut mang arwa o id mangaram dingarata ba tatakri me releasing.
And then so far we've tagged 11 kedesau, 2 melangmud, and 9 gray reef sharks. And we've still got more tags, so we are planning to go out in November and December and continue tagging.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't get the number. Mela sal tau te teluror ra se vedra seng la model sandera alomul teluror le rigil ngere dir almi sal ngere dir el natali te lumu la model sandei etam la taka
11.
11 ang kadasaw. Oh. E dire kal mlatak ka tablol malangmud ma keltiu el crave reef shark. E wasen dire kanya amade el tak mata malas melmo morawro rangara outri matalbuil mo dula outri ngerul buil. So you're planning to, you still have more tags left, so you're planning to start again tagging in November and December?
Yeah.
So is Natalie coming in November?
No, she's coming in December.
Oh.
But we're going to go out without her in November.
Okay. Mung gagi din mo ko lasang dir kari adar ngi lagi dir tak but mo ura November ma December el di motil ko ram ruri let na mamudu es el bol December engagi din Natalie mirar last week al mutel me mot ma ke kantin murut tay dulu.
And then we have 18 tags for the shark, so we're halfway through, and then we have we want to tag around 30 of each fish species.
Oh, okay.
Around.
Okay. Melat tamlatak anan koi reef hindi gel anan gale may matugol. Andi kal matugol. A koi reef amatal. Ay tamlatak anan metal. Hindi nga gida Kristinan mo ko lasay ayel tak kalmura adeng amal di 18 membulwa sing gorablal rigira tedo ora urur. Hindi sel malang mudo ma akatasaw ora sorilo se temotaka ogodera atamatang ogodel katasaw ba ogodel malangmud egid nga kaselulu ais wasing 11 ma ta tu mungwal kora maldir ga butoka yan malangmud ma akatasal gilil mo tak and why do we need to do this kind of tagging? I mean, what's the importance of this project?
Yeah. So the fish spawning aggregations themselves are very important for the reproduction of the fish. So for some species, that's the only way they reproduce. And so they, the aggregation events, they go to specific places at specific times. It's often linked to the lunar phase also, so the full moon or the new moon. So this makes them vulnerable to overfishing because they're at specific places in large numbers at specific times. And then they can also be eaten by sharks because it attracts sharks. So, and many fish aggregations around the world have been overfished. Some of them have disappeared, and we want to avoid that happening in Palau. And then, yeah, so to protect these fish spawning aggregations, we can set up marine protected areas or conservation areas, or we can do like a close this area for fishing certain number of days around the full moon. Or new moon. And this is what Karor State is planning to do with their new fisheries management plan. So they've identified 9 fish spawning aggregation sites, which will either be a protected area or, like I said, closed at certain times of the month. And so Mutiar, or Shark City, will be, the plan is for it to be closed 3 days before on the full moon and 3 days after the full moon for specific species. And that includes Kedasau and Melangmud. And so with this data, we're hoping that we can find out when the fish arrive, when they're leaving, how far they move, and see, and hopefully provide feedback on the management plan to see like how well is the management plan protecting these species.
Okay. Oy ma Christina mo ko lasay tial lurol longot mo kaya ko center el takay galngil e msuba yegi del baselom el ngangil agora awal se del moringa wil cloud ngi lasay ay galngil malwara omloler tial brief e ospa yegi del information el gora asbe del lo ay sel mora state le goro state tadir gilt mcleal dula sen fisheries management plan ri el tagi del southern lagoon ya al sel segi management plan ya goro state amla a all takkentul basyo al sel tagi del southern lagoon lo asa angikla elri gidel basyo me la tial rio longot moknya gora center gidel tagi del gora subel aggregation amalas mul gora mala gidel information mos bedel wado ay sa goro state lasing ngara tretir tial gergen ma goro state taguk mo dula se okay madabolo ay segi de agimo o gora o mul malibagi mo gora am sabakra ra yal ngigil el wangara wiral gimo giungi sea gora adai tai there's a color hindi ka po dumere okay so yeah, I just kind of gave a brief summary of the whole purpose of this project and how important it is. And then how long will this project last?
Well, we're planning to collect data for 1 year at least. And we collect the data we go and collect the receivers every 3 months. And then download the data and then put them back out. So it should be 1 year, but hopefully longer if we get funding. And then, yeah, if we get more funding, we're also hoping to expand the receivers. Okay. So put more receivers out and also maybe tag more species from the management plan.
I see. Tialuriora alo Isa Cristina la sing gora dio mesil gira la tarrak. Ya bekle dil buil etuguk mai ga gidu receiver el malmei e dano da deita guk mal momei. Inding ga gidel malmal gol mo. Dire gol gora wal tuira a funding malu bengi gelu do dil wal haraut tialurior. Al segum temtiga auror en sebedel malmal tialurior e dire se del gilungi gora wat expand tel project guk mo da al sal dio mesil segin. Mo sebel lo mesa guk pebira omorol rangi gra maybe bubble dab or es el gora malulung le así pues es el tocangi el gora a su ral se la gagi del gora management fisheries management plan like al blue and so if the fish if a person catch a tiao I mean not tiao a fish that is being tagged,
Yeah.
what do they do with the tag?
If you find a tag, it would be great if you could give it back to Pickrick or give us a call and maybe we can come and pick it up from you. We would then be able to use it on another fish. And then it would also be great to know where you caught the fish and if it's possible, get the length of the fish. Yeah. So it's so just call Pickrick if you find a tag.
Oh, metiago rawalo o ngit tigal brut tay dulu lo asay goral toy maga gorel la tara gagi del ngigli ya mun mera abli me bomol to da illa kam sa gora agagi del acoustic tak ngal sel etamal gora ore lo asay ulgu mun sab emel gora a provider asay gagi lirgen e dire que gora di dai tail monsieur klungel en palungi le dire que mol gora asay malu ben sil di gora lui fagi me musel tak malu ben sebe magal adro mga de ngwa tak kalmera awul mun gora amil logo sera le la atial show lo asay te dire que mal un cloluron te dire que mal lo ni tanges adro mo gora mo involver fishermen say agora te tere el sel Christina, I just wanted to clarify this. So the tag that we put inside the fish, there's no way it can sort of contaminate or poison the fish flesh.
No. No, because
you want to talk about how the tag is being sealed, or I mean, just a little bit.
I mean, it's waterproof. It's not. There's no toxins coming out or anything.
Oh,
yeah.
Meaning this tag is well sealed.
Yeah.
Okay. Ako na di uleger sel ko rasay. Kalil ada kalil ko ako relang igil. Elesal nga al seleng el gora mo modak to senggang. Ngagi del mal nam ko taktil sa sel tag waterproof e mal lungil seal. Mengdia ka ngal bol tamelira ko ra telang igil or.
But you don't want to eat it.
Eh?
You don't want to eat it.
Of course. Hindi ako ko ngala kasi hindi ka salsa mo ngukuring geletak. Anyway, and so I'm sure there's been have there been any similar project done in the past in Palau? Oh, I guess that's more like a question to me. Ako na dili lesson last note tell say sige black tila ulit. Tell to ko na tagging ada kan do SMS lurur. Hindi gal ngaraklen. Ay gal dongul dong spe ase de la saying besel dongu lembi ko sa ay gal takana la chi improve ra avec el time. Magulo ko niya say sila gi mo ra abira abil selom ela tiaw ngira ngara lo ablura ngara lo ngara nairis ya gi ulebe spelling gel da sen conventional dart tak ngel dart tak ngari address samani ni source ngari information ngari ma what we did akwa di ay sa tamo ko mo tetele la bebira ko ra tagging project lang mokle asel mle idea sel tamra ngel do sen Bob Johannes gia miro ako kung medal si luror au le mes lo así gora mle basic lang mal din mes así ay galtiaw sel voltemelo mel etangar tian pal botok ese la temelo mel de metti ayidlo si silvación lo bil en mudi drigil mal di stal tiaw el sebed la sengigel residential fees nigel tiaw guktim le kers tayid el basio sayid el selabil ya igel rest el mogra adertelal arureul ngaw Mesel idea ra time ra nairis ra gimura abil. Ako ra lumes asing. Kami do subla say, may gasel bol mereka lom eleng morgir. Mela seguir lagi mo special conventional tag gim moru seguir grouper tagging project ra ngara long. O si silta met dire kal miru ringi tiang rumgar order. Ya igal ngigel tak abebira tamagal girer selguk das padal ra ngara long. Ma bebila mla madal ngart mau. Mungil information do ngeleng kadokora ultur sel luldas la say. Sel bodo do ngela ablagar dire ngal ngigel. Egale bol seb edel momdu الغرا واضح protecting يا رجل تقول أقول مقددي ما أقول لك روا tagging ما روا aggregation لهم إلى نهاية المعرض قددي ذول قاضي مدلون ولا شيء أراد أمغيد ما أدرى بلوها أول غرا دي كامبلين ولا شيء مال دي جانيك أقول موسم المطمق لغير ولا شيء ماذا إلى المون إني أدلو تلتوب دانيك قددي ما رأى الشيء بينه أقول ما جيد الله عمدوم جيد الغرا أول نمور بلو ولا شيء دي جانيك يا أوشي شلتا ما أقول مقدم أقول لك نهاية التعمارة Ngigarro kuluro selbodo o mese selwal gekka malubeng result ni e kada mal di mlas motmok kulo sei mesel end result sel mo ke kartiang magrang ngo suir tial tial resource tial ruangi kel mangrara ava mung melmol melngarngi marada melmol meluspe agea se agwa daita e mudulong wal gora whole idea behind all these conservation regulations conservation law aggregation studies selbodo mese selbar online and it's all about sustainability into the future. Ngwa di soal mo tekliseleng albebira time ko ora wasi mal na mo to ala al dio mulang ra mali de mollo otit kadamral mlarmen sagal gament oy ma ulung important tagay do sel dorul alta sel gotr gut maklala en mal hars en ora mal mringla esel loral mon modando road ya ra mo ngel wasi oh tia gida mo del klungyo le tiang un mil gitmokl ya osi siltama mol di improve sayid ndiakal soadal mormeng sayid la say kadimru la al dim mala etrigin mbay soadal say kadimru la mol la galuror mong makarang ay gal result tra galuror a help brigade el improve tialla malung til dobong ya ara bulo say ya ser omos mi tiang mal mlongil mal betak ngara marang saya ko ra soadal mudulong el masara gel awul mol la gagid luror. And so that's we'll conclude our show this morning. I don't have any further question, Christina. It's a very interesting work you're doing, and I'm sure in the future, maybe sometimes next year, we have to come in at some point and inform the public, update the public on what's going on. I'm sure we'll do that in the future. So is there anything that you left out that you want to mention, or we've covered pretty much everything?
I don't think so. I mean, the only other thing was about if there have been similar projects done in Palau. There was acoustic tagging done in Ibil of the groupers, but I don't think anything has been published yet. And then also the tagging of the black-tail snapper, which was CRF, Coral Reef Foundation was involved with that one.
Black-tail snapper?
Yeah.
Black-tail snapper.
Janus fulvus?
Fulbus, ang galerial. Luchanis fulbus. Oy, mga ida Christina algora se ndia ka kwadi ndiswalo ay sila say ngaria bebira way gagid lurol man patmoklo. Sel Coral Reef Research Foundation ti ala cross rankings. Adire kal mlatak kay gele real. So din mo mdinge tetelen tamla dire kal lurol taka real. Maba ngaria dire kal el tarabuy when was that? About 10 years ago when Sparky was here. Yeah, about 10 years ago. Yung mlartial dire kal miru raurel mungu kuluro lo mentira adro olay motmokra o sisiu luror acoustic tagging. Mung dia ka dula sengora bes luror ndi tial guklong mokra agora rifelang akateng la agora rifel muru tiagid luror acoustic tagging. Awul mo kadim le sama mera aure de o ay sala aku kora bes luror mera la tamra kora rif center. And so, if that's all, Christina, that's pretty much it, I guess. And then maybe we can open for a call. Some other question here.
Okay, muito tagoler kan raer.
Malu tutau mudulong kom ti al kest tigale adrasyo. Akti gora oren se gora morarong uma ang wang ra ridela ngigel selo pangay gidel el device sel recorder en morong amos of recorder ni wang rakta reader sel receiver sulang
Okay. The caller was just asking how far the tag fish from the receiver for the receiver to
That's a
read
good.
the ID.
That's a really good question, and it really depends on the topography of the reef. Like if it's if it's a reef which has like a lot of like ups and downs on the reef, then the range is going to be much smaller compared to if it's a really flat area. Then but it could be, so it can, usually it's up to around 300 meters around the
Whoa.
receiver, yeah. But it can be down to like 50 meters if it's like a really complex reef.
Okay, so what you're saying is if the area is flat, the receiver can detect the ID number from a fish about 300 meters away.
It can,
Okay.
yeah.
Oy, gagi dalaw ay sila say. Cell receiver emerald ko make sense eh. Receiver amal di depend rata cell blue ule law reef, cell tele law reef. Al sugu ma receiver adalan bertiang yang ani ako am kolbat. En sebe langi kulwa belge dending. Akora honest tellol ko ni Christina mudulong akora momlat kasi. Ngla akora kmedul gal cell phone. Al sugu kita connection ng biakal. Ngora awak tetel segit. Lengkagi dulu say. Al sugu mudeda sa reef. E cell receiver am sisi. El sebel oivia a 300 meter mudulong a 1,000 feet. Bro sa angi kra sebel gole kra matala rainbow store. Oy. Ya receiver ang atyang sel oivia al sugu mundia kamalngit. Hindi sugu mumputok ako ra umulel mga mumburot marang yang mel mekme de nya musibel detect niya a receiver.
It also depends on things like the turbidity of the water. Other things like background noise can affect the range.
Oh,
So like
okay.
if the water is really
rough,
murky,
murky.
rough also, yeah. If it's windy, it's making noise, it will decrease the range, yeah. And actually it's not the receiver that has the range, it's the tag. So the smaller tags, they have a smaller range. The shark ones, which are bigger, they have a larger range.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the receiver there. Anyway, kaki din dire mal ko lasay. Dire ko ra tuira ora kantila yang adama ringil daw. Ma dire ko tel ara daw. Al sumong ora wal murky, ora mal ara daw. Indire ko mo ringira receiver el OIV ID.
Kung tutawag nga raer.
Oo, may tutaw le ko kamu dulong kau asap baga ngilale. Scientist los pering rawai gagi asap. Tiagi ba ger. El asel restore cell. El traging arangi kel. India ka ko rawe ngo otirgi durwasi. Angi kel mletela idisel el ang na increase al 1 degrees. Aong erulger. Set klarar mobile in malalam ang kalingigel. Sel device ang angkel. Sel dengil jagal change sa behavior ang kalingigel. Ay gagita ko laptop lol kere tiang malungil program dito molom.
Okay, I guess the caller was curious about the device that we're putting inside the fish. Isn't that gonna alter the fish behavior in some ways? And then also the numbers of fish. He was asking if this acoustic tag can tell us, how many fish were there. So can you clarify that?
For the first question, for if the tag will alter the behavior of the fish, I mean, this kind of technology has been used in many studies around the world. I don't know if there's been any studies looking at if it changes the behavior, but the tag is small compared to the body of the fish, so it shouldn't change the behavior of it. It's small enough so that the idea is that it won't affect and we want to see the natural movement of the fish. So I think it doesn't change the behavior. For the, what was the second
Second question is, can this acoustic tag tell us how many fish gathered to spawn?
No, no, you would have to do some other kind of
Right.
survey, like transect or visual, or using the video.
O ngai da Christina mo ko la sei sel taka ngora wal blura da uspeni ending ngora dia kal lodonge lo sengaria study lam katmo lo mesra sei tia sel da me angi kala ngora a change behavioring ending waseng ngora wal ke gre klalo ma idea sei nso dal dungul dol mirangi endia ka mo mongod ora ablagar dele ma umro le langi nso dal lo mesra ngi linga sen natural ese long erul que lo hace ya tial agustik takan dia sel subir así madalo ai set tial bastion le telal malangmud ma ben en kada sam le kel dibni om ella dia gal sebel gire dos pe au pebira me dodel el merit la sem le telal ni gramei a me kel dible om ella seguir el basio okay
Kwadi Ager.
ya mada
Why only Melangmud and Kersau?
for now
For
Why those
hopefully we can expand like what
Yeah.
you said, right?
Yeah, I mean, you need the fish to be with the tags that this University of Stanford had. They had specific tags that I needed to use, and you need the fish to be big enough to put that tag in. So Kedesau and Melangmud are two big fish. The other ones on the list are also probably more difficult to catch, like I don't know how you catch that fish unless you're spearfishing, so that's another
Yeah,
problem.
but if you spear fishing, by the time you
Yeah, no,
catch
you
it, it's
can't.
there.
So I don't, because we've been using bottom fishing, line
Yeah.
fishing, so I don't think you can catch.
Well,
like that.
I think if you would work with some
Yeah.
fishermen, these fishermen, they have all sort of a method on how to collect fish.
Well, it could be something that we look
Right.
at in the future.
Because the bottom line is we want to be alive so we can.
Yeah. And then like groupers, Tiao has already been done.
I think you need to expand to consider research on and arangal, because we have a way to catch them through a fish trap, and they're more safe, and that's what many Palawan wants on their dish.
Ngoi say ko ram ko tela mudulo mokal ka la say ay gagi del ngi lulu ngari to raw sige sel betgen ma ko ten se del mangrel ya o si sil time indirectly identify the sige del Goro State. Remember kada murut tal yor tral assist Goro State tra management tel southern lagoon indirectly listed del corasorin mo protecta ul mo mra laurol way sige da sel bol mre ka ko wala bay gal information fidra Goro State ta say gagi da gim mulas mo gora agen Q etiagi da ke karingi makal di kemilo me se make a decision for yourself. Saya kora ideal. So you're saying these acoustic tags come in different size and form. So according to the Stanford University, it's sort of based on the size of fish, which tag would be appropriate. In other words, wouldn't really hurt the fish so much or wouldn't affect the
Yeah.
fish.
Also, the smaller the tag, the less battery life it has. So it's like a compromise.
Oh, I see, I see.
Also, the smaller range and also the
I see.
less battery.
Okay. Gora dia mo tak kaya Christina say, sel lora la tak mal mo ke grey, e sel lu, sel batterinya dire ke luabol ke de baklangari. E dire ke sel ride la omungiwela ma amo ko de.
Tela average el tela battery.
What's the lifespan for the acoustic tag battery?
It also can depend because you can change the setting, but ours should last for a year. Yeah, they can last longer.
Okay. Oh,
With the settings that we have, we should be able to collect data for 1 year.
o metela acoustic tag kasi del ko rangun mem sa wadop sa sel so del setting. Ela tiga ko di mesra wanil tataragling because of funding. Betul ko di le kasi ngirel sel acoustic tag el tarral ngara sel angig le dio ko.
But I think the shark ones can last longer because they're bigger.
Ay gele mo ada nga gaji del mo kasing sibil amo la taragling trim klom. La ka mga la. Okay. Christina, thank you very much for coming and inform the public on what's going on this new project that we had. And I guess I can see mudulong signaling no more callers, so I guess we can close the program.
Thank you.
So with that, thank you very much, Christina. Mudulong, kamal sulal tial temem, ma tial radio gal hoster gid. Mung sepela ko rif me egduk mo ka ngi gal tetela uror. Nga ko di ba kumtera adra ko rif. Guais la sei agimal dio babla kareng, mol mlas mo gagi diluror. Masela nga riab yuk me ausir miu. Hopefully, gagi diluror gim molas mulmrul. Amral sepel ngarinya pon ngeswir. Ligire la kora omongal welwel ay gal el tokora kerger ma adebela bulwat. Komal sulang.